Hi everyone, welcome back to So Arizona. If you have followed me for a while, you know that I have had a major problem with gophers with my fruit trees. I've lost several fruit trees, probably more than 6, and I've lost count at this point because it has been quite a few, and I have been battling these gophers ever since I started planting my fruit trees, and they are such a big problem here. I've tried several different methods, but really the method that I find works the best is doing some natural things like planting. And this is just yet another way that we can harness the power of plants to help us in our garden. So I'm going to be talking about which plants I'm using for this fall season, as well as a couple of other things that I'm going to be using. So let's get started and chit chat while I'm planting. Today I have got this basket full of goodies. Gophers are actually fairly picky when it comes to what they eat, and more importantly, what they smell. So I'm going to go through some of the things that I'm planting around my fruit trees to keep those gophers away. The first thing I have is a big bag of daffodil bulbs. So right now in southern Arizona, we are in mid-November, and the fall is a perfect time of year to be planting all kinds of bulbs, spring flowering bulbs. So if you want to plant crocuses or tulips or daffodils or ranunculus or all of those types of bulbs, now's the time. So that's an extra bonus from this video. But gophers actually hate daffodils. They don't like the taste of them, and if you plant a ring of them around your fruit trees in the fall, then they will actually grow up and flower while the trees don't have any leaves on them in the spring, so they're not being shaded out. And by the time they have bloomed and done their thing, then the trees above are leafing out, and it doesn't really matter if they are in the shade. In fact, in the desert, they'll actually appreciate some of that shade. So that is the first thing that I'm going to be planting around each one of my fruit trees this year. The next thing that I'm going to be planting around my fruit trees might seem a little strange, but it's actually helping me out in a couple of different ways. One is that I always overorder on certain root vegetables like onions and garlic. Every fall, I order onion seedlings from Dixondale Farms, and I love that company. I've had great luck with them. They have great selection, so just a little shout out to them if you'd like to order some onion seedlings, which in my opinion is the best way to start onions, instead of from seed or from the onion bulbs. Then you can order from them, but I always order way too many onions. I've learned that gophers don't like the taste or the smell of onions. So when I have my onion shipment come in, I'm going to save aside a few extra so that I can plant those around some of my fruit trees as well. And if they turn into onions, I think that's all the better. And if not, that's okay, because they are extra and they are serving a purpose, and that is deterring the gophers. The next thing that I'm going to be planting is also something that I have an overabundance of, and that is garlic. So I grew a lot of it, we're eating a lot of it, but I still have a lot that I have planted and still some left over. So I'm going to be taking some of the extra garlic bulbs, and I'm going to be including that in my little gopher deterrent system that I'm planting around these trees. So we've got daffodils, we've got onions, and we have garlic. And let me talk about a few of the other things that I'm going to be including as well. A lot of farmers who are growing things like alfalfa find that gophers really like the roots of that plant. So what they will do is they will surround their fields or their rows of alfalfa or whatever crop that they're growing that the gophers fancy with rows of grain. And that's because gophers don't really care for grain roots very much. And in case you didn't know, gophers are vegetarians, and so they are all about the roots of all of the trees and the plants that we're planting in our garden. They will come up and just peek out of their holes just enough to be able to nibble some of the plants above ground that they prefer, but for the most part they are active below ground, feeding on the roots, and sometimes even pulling the plants down into their burrows to eat them in safety there. So farmers will use rows of grain crops to kind of deter or camouflage some of the other field crops that gophers like a lot, and that means things like wheat and barley and oats and things of that nature. So I had some extra seeds for some Sonoran wheat and some of this really beautiful Dutch variety of wheat that I got from Botanical Interests. I've grown this one. It's called Utrecht blue, if I'm not butchering that name. I'll put it on the screen. But I've grown this a lot in my flower garden because I find that when you harvest the seed heads when they're dry, they make beautiful additions to flower arrangements. So this might be an added benefit. I will get daffodils, I will get some onions and garlic, and I will get some beautiful little additions for my bouquets later on in the year. I have never grown wheat just to harvest it because it would take so much to be able to even make one loaf of bread, but I do really like adding it just because it adds interest to my garden and to my flowers and my flower bouquets. So this is actually going to give me something in return. So I will be harvesting maybe some daffodil bouquets, later on some wheat stalks, and maybe some onions and some garlic too. So I think this is going to be a really great combination. So I'm going to be alternating the Sonoran white wheat with some of this blue wheat. I'm hoping that it'll look really pretty. Might seem like a strange combination of daffodils and onions and garlic and some of these, but I think that it's actually going to be very pretty. And I'm adding some other things, which I'll talk about in a minute too, to try to soften some of those spiky plants. Some other things that are a little lower lying that I will add to my little gopher deterrent system that I think will be really beautiful is salvia, rosemary, lavender, and then I'm going to be doing some lower lying herbs like thyme and oregano and things like that, so that I have a tall, medium, and low growing little ring around that. And I think that's going to be very pretty. And these things will deter the gophers because gophers really do not like these strong scents of some of these plants. So I'm hoping if I surround each of my trees with lots of fragrant herbs and root vegetables and bulbs, that the gophers will get discouraged and they will go and eat something else besides my fruit trees. I'm just going to take these daffodil bulbs and I am going to be planting them all the way around this tree. Simply plant these here. So I like to prioritize how tall things are going to be getting. So I've got my daffodils here. My rosemary will obviously get bigger. So I'm going to be alternating daffodil and then a rosemary and then maybe a daffodil and a lavender, just kind of all the way along so that nothing gets choked out. Here's a little golden oregano right here that I'd planted earlier in the season. I'm just going to be including all of the little smelly things. And you can see right now the trees have leaves. Before the trees leaf out in the spring, these will be doing their thing, and by the time they need a little shelter from the sun, they will be covered by the tree canopy. A little further out, I'm going to be planting these garlic bulbs. I'll simply break these apart into cloves, and I'm going to put them out, but I'm going to put them a little bit further out from the daffodils. So that way I'm just staggering everything. Once I get done with that, I am just going to be covering all of the wheat. You want to bury it 1/4 inch deep, and you want to space your plants every 2 inches. I'm also covering up all of my bulbs now that I know exactly where I've placed them. And then I will stretch this irrigation line out a little bit further so it can reach the wheat as well as the bulbs in the tree. And that is going to be it. A little later, at the beginning of December, I will spray my castor oil and I will hope for the best. There are 2 other things that I'm adding to this mix that is not a plant. One of them is a waste product from my kitchen, and that is coffee grounds. So coffee grounds and coffee in general has a very strong smell, and gophers do not appreciate that smell at all. It just so happens that coffee grounds are a great addition to the soil because they will add nitrogen. So that is also giving me a second use out of doing this application. One is to deter the gophers, and the other is to enrich the soil around my trees. And since I drink coffee every morning, I would otherwise just throw this into my compost pile, but instead I'm just going to set it aside every morning and come out and pick a tree and sprinkle it around the top. You can also add it into gopher tunnels and burrows, which they will not like and will probably go the other direction rather than have to push it out. So that's another great thing that you can do with your coffee grounds. The next thing that I'm going to be adding is this product, and this is called Mole Max. It's got a little attachment that you can put onto your garden hose, and you can water it in all around the root base of your trees. And this product is 100% castor oil. This is not going to harm other animals. It's not even going to harm the gophers. It won't harm the insects. It will just deter the gophers because gophers don't like the smell of it. It turns out that we can use the gopher's sensitive nose against it and drive it away by just adding all of these different smells to the area. So that's another thing that I'm going to be adding. You can get this. I bought this at Tractor Supply, and it says on the price tag it was $6.29. Now I got this on the clearance rack. It looks like it was originally $13.99, but this is kind of a concentrate. I can probably go through and do each one of my trees twice with this thing. So it's not too bad of a price, $14 once a month. But if you don't want to do that, you can also get concentrates in a big bottle, and you can mix those up and dilute them according to the directions on the package, either in a watering can or a bucket, and so you can water your trees that way. So these are the things that I'm doing to combat the gophers. In the spring, I will add some other plants that like the warm weather that will also do the similar job of deterring the gophers from their smell, but I will talk about that in a different video. For now, since it's bulb planting season and onion and garlic planting season, I'm going to be adding that, the coffee grounds, I'm going to be adding the castor oil and the wheat. And it is mid-November, so it's a perfect time to be growing some of those grain crops like wheat and barley and things like that. I am busy in the house planting seeds for some of my other things like herbs and salvias, and also yarrow is another great one that I didn't mention. So once those seedlings are ready to come out, I will be bringing them out and planting them in a ring around the wheat. So hopefully this ring of aromatics will help deter the gopher, and it will go feed on something else besides my fruit trees. I really like using the power of plants rather than poisons because they don't hurt wildlife downstream. So if I put out poisons for gophers or mice or rats in my garden, those animals may be eaten by raptors or by foxes or by coyotes, and that can harm or kill those animals that are eating the rodents, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be trying this method instead, and hopefully that will not hurt anyone, and it will also bring other wildlife to my garden in the form of bees who will come and feed on some of the flowers of the herbs and the things that I'm planting around these trees. I also wanted to mention that I got my Sonoran wheat seeds last year from the Pima County Seed Library. So you can check your local Pima County branch if you're in the Tucson area and see what seeds they have available, but you may be able to get some of those seeds for free. I think that is a great local resource for all sorts of seeds for every season, so make sure that you check them out, and also make sure that you save some seeds to donate back to them so that you can keep the program going. I'm Kara from Arizona. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy gardening.